Hello, this is Kenneth Camp. Well, it's here. Today is launch day for my new book, the Kindle version of Foster and Adoptive Parenting, Authentic Stories that will inspire and encourage parenting with connection. I'm very excited about this book, and I've been getting some really good feedback and reviews from those that got a sneak peek at the book. I have an incredible launch team that's been helping me get the word out. I've also sent a free copy to some influential people that are in the foster care and adoption world, and getting some good feedback from everybody. You know, I wanted to, if you haven't ever met me, I wanted to let you know a little bit about our story, just briefly, and why I wrote this book. You know, my wife Danielle and I have been married for over 28 years and never had our own biological children. In fact, our son that we adopted through foster care just turned 6. And so, if you could do the math, we were married about 22 years before he was placed with us even. He was placed with us as a foster-only child when he was 8 months old. And then we had ended up adopting him 15 months later, right before his second birthday. And so, you know, as you can tell, we had about 22 years of not parenting a child. We were and have been godparents of some children, and in fact, we currently are legal godparents of one family that has 4 children and another family that has 3. And I'm sure both of those families are excited to know that we're getting some hands-on practical experience finally at parenting. But you know, parenting's hard, isn't it? And if you are a foster or adoptive parenting, or you have a child that has had, maybe they are your biological child and they have had trauma in their past and their history, you know that parenting a child that has trauma background is very intense. It's not just hard. And some of the reasons why is because they may not be attached to you very well. They respond to their environment from a place of fear instead of trust. They may have some extreme sensory challenges, sensory input challenges. So there's a lot of things that feed into a child that has a trauma background that makes parenting them even more difficult than just the normal parenting challenges. And because of that, you know, when you have a biological child that has no trauma or very little trauma in their background, and they are attached to you well, and they trust people, maybe too much at times, but they trust you and they feel safe around you and in their environment, then you can parent them in a lot of different ways and be successful. But a child that comes to us with deep wounds, that window of style of parenting is a lot smaller. And so I understand because of our experience and working with other families that have children that come from a hard place, as Dr. Karen Purvis calls it. We understand how difficult it can be and how alone it can cause you to feel as a parent, and how you can feel very discouraged and misunderstood even, because you continue to try to parent in a way that will help your child feel safe and, you know, help them to become attached to you as their mother or their father, and that can cause there to be misunderstanding among your peers or even criticism, and that can cause you to feel alone as well. You can any parent feels exhausted, especially if they have young children at home. By the end of the day, they're done, and I know that you've had many days like that. I also know that you've had thoughts that you would not share with anybody else. Maybe thoughts of, you know, I really don't like this child, or even maybe I'm not sure that we might not have made a mistake in bringing this child into our family. Those are things that just aren't easy to share with other people. But believe me, you're not alone in having thoughts like that. And the reason why I wrote this book is so that you would not feel alone, that you would feel encouraged and inspired to keep parenting in a way that will help your child heal from the wounds that they have. And we call that parenting with connection. And so I do take principles that Dr. Karen Purvis and Dr. Dan Siegel and others that are experts in this field teach about parenting with connection. And I wrap stories from our family and a few other families around these tips and share with you how we work towards applying these principles in our families. And sometimes we do well at it, and other times we don't do so well. And I try to be very vulnerable about that, to not only give you tips and ideas and teach how to apply these principles, but also hope that you can do it too, and to keep on doing what you're doing. You may already know this, but there's links throughout the book to podcast episodes that include interviews with professionals in the field, and also conversations between Danielle, my wife, and I about a few of the ways that we apply some of these techniques. So I really encourage you to grab a copy of this book. And, right now it's free, so there's no risk. You can take a look at it, read it. If you love it, great. Please leave a review and share it with your friends. If you don't think it's all that great of a book, no offense taken. Just, forget that you ever downloaded the book, and it will be no cost to you. But it's only free for 3 days. So, I'm launching this on November 13th on Sunday, and it'll be free through midnight on Tuesday. So please grab a copy while you can, and I would love to hear from you. Reach out to me either through my website or contact me via social media, and let's get to know each other and go down this journey together, because that always helps when you know that you have someone else that is walking alongside of you and take this journey with you. So it's good to meet you, good to talk to you, and go grab that free book today.